The first thing everyone said about Professor Kim Namjoon was simple. Don't take his biology class unless you enjoy suffering. Unfortunately, YN didn't have a choice. As a second-year university student majoring in biotechnology, biology too was a required course, and the man teaching it had a reputation for impossible quizzes, emotionless lectures, and grades so low that students joked he was trying to eliminate half the department. YN wasn't intimidated. She was annoyed. The first lecture only made things worse. Professor Kim walked into the classroom wearing a crisp white shirt with the sleeves rolled to his forearms. He placed a stack of papers on the desk, adjusted his glasses, and scanned the room. No greeting, no smile. "Open your notebooks," he said calmly. "We'll begin with a surprise quiz." The entire class gasped. "Sir," someone protested, "it's the first day." "I know, but we haven't learned anything yet." "You were assigned 3 chapters before today." Groans filled the classroom. Yian crossed her arms. "Seriously? Who gives a quiz on the first day?" She muttered just loudly enough for her best friend to hear. "This professor definitely wakes up every morning and chooses violence." "Unfortunately..." Professor Kim heard her. Without changing his expression, he looked directly at her. "The student in the 3rd row." YN blinked. "Stand." The whole classroom turned toward her. She slowly stood. "You seem confident." "I didn't say that." "Then perhaps you'd like to explain cellular respiration to the class." YN froze. Her mind went completely blank. A few students tried not to laugh. I, Professor Kim nodded once. As expected. Heat rushed to her cheeks. "You may sit." That was it. No shouting, no insults, yet somehow it was 10 times more embarrassing. The moment class ended, YN slammed her notebook shut. "I officially hate him." Her friend Mina sighed. "You hate everyone who gives homework." "No," YN replied. "This one is different." The next few weeks became a battlefield. Every lecture, YN challenged one of Professor Kim's questions. Every lecture, Professor Kim calmly proved her wrong using scientific evidence. "Opinions don't change biology," he would say. "And being boring doesn't improve teaching," YN would answer. The class watched their arguments like they were a weekly TV show. One rainy Tuesday, things got worse. The midterm grades were posted. YN stared at her score, 62. "No way!" She marched straight to Professor Kim's office. Without knocking, she burst inside. "Professor." He looked up from his laptop. "You received 62, he said before she even spoke. "Yes, I remember." "How is that possible?" "You answered 6 questions incorrectly." "I studied all week." "I believe you." "Then why didn't I get a better grade?" Professor Kim slid her exam across the desk. "You memorized the textbook." "So?" "I asked you to explain concepts." Y/N frowned. "There's a difference?" "A very large one." She opened her mouth to argue again. Instead, Professor Kim handed her another sheet of paper. "A departmental research competition will begin next month." "So?" "You've been selected." "What?" "You'll work in pairs." She smiled. "Great. Your partner is..." He paused. "Me." YN's smile disappeared instantly. "What?" "I'll supervise the winning project." "There has to be another professor." "There isn't." "There has to be another student." "There isn't." She groaned dramatically. "This is the worst day of my life." For the first time, the corners of Professor Kim's lips lifted ever so slightly. "You'll survive." YN narrowed her eyes. "Challenge accepted, Professor." She had no idea that the project she wanted to escape would become the reason her entire life changed. To be continued.